put yourself in order. When you use cosmetics, it means to make an order. All right? To order. Well, the word Hashemayim literally means, it comes from Mayim. Ha is the, Mayim, Maya is waters, Im is plural, the uplifted waters. The waters literally said it means everything above the uplifted waters. Okay? It means the whole universe. He created the universe, and this is beautiful when you looked at the order of it. And he created all the universe, and then he put the earth in it, in a special place. He created the universe, and then he put the earth in it, in a special place. All right? In our case, all right, what is this word here? That's a verb, isn't it? A verb is a linking verb, whatever you want to call it. All right? You got this correct? That's a linking verb. To be verb, third person singular, imperfect tense, indicative mode, and active voice, and it comes from this right here. All right? That little word Amy. That's I am. That's what it means. Imperfect tense means what? This keeps on going. All right? Now this is how the Bible, this is how important Greek is in your interpretation of the Bible. Because what I'm going to tell you about this verse right here is going to tell a lot about creation and about God and who God is. Okay? In beginning, the absolute extremity of time when nothing else was, kept on being. Third person singular is he. All right? Verbs are first, second, and third person. I, you, he, she, or, and it. All right? And that's singular. And then plural over here is what? We. And then Oki, you all. You all. Ye. Ye. All right? And they. That's verb forms. That's what they are. In Greek, present indicative active is oasa, omen, udi, usi, a. O-A-A, omen, edi, usi, and then ain is to be. All right? Those are endings for present indicative active. All right? Oasa, omen, edi, usi, ain. That's the way it is. Ago. Age. Okay, like that. And then Agol. That's the way it would be. In Greek, all of the verbs are inflected. And the nouns are inflected. Okay? You conjugate the verbs, and the nouns have all endings for what part of it is. Now, this all means something tonight because we're looking at this verse. All right? I don't want it to flabbergast you, but you're getting some grammar and Greek and Bible all at the same time. You're going to have a revelation here. Revelation. All right? In beginning, kept on being. He kept on being. All right? He continued to be. He never ceased to exist. He kept on being. And then we have the word, what's this here? Oh. Logos. All right. Whole logos. Now, that's a L, and it's actually a capital L. Okay, here's a little L, like that. Okay, that's a capital L, logos. Now, this word logos, what kind of a problem do we have with it? The Greek idea of logos is what? The Greek idea of logos.
Logic.
Huh?
Logic.
We get a word logic from it. These put words together. Okay? It comes from the verb lego, which means to pick out and to place in order. All right? You pick out from your mind words and you put them in order and you make a sentence out of it and you convey one thought to another. That's the verb form. The logos, as far as the Greeks were concerned, was the original idea, the original deity of some sort. Okay? But logos, that's not what it's talking about. We can say the, and it's nominative, singular, masculine, and it's a definite article. All right? And this is nominative, singular, masculine. Now the articles, the does, in other words, the does is like a pointer, like this, pointing out. That article in number, gender, and case is the same. Even the does in Greek are inflected. Okay? So what we have here is nominative, singular, masculine, definite article, and we have nominative, singular, masculine, noun. Now what kind of a problem do we have with this noun here? This word. It's not a Greek idea, but it's a Hebraism. Hebraism. The book of Revelation was written by John the Revelator, and also the Apostle John. You know, that's who it was. Many Greek scholars said that it was such poor grammar in Greek that they would not accept it as inspired. It's a very confusing book to people that don't believe in Israel anyway, because it's got mostly to do with Israel. But when Jesus, in the Old Testament, all right, who was he?
The Old Testament?
Who was Jesus?
Elijah?
Who was Jesus?
God.
Well, he's God. No, who was it? What was the name of God in the Old Testament? Well, Elohim is El Shaddai, the all-powerful one. All right. What is the name of God in the Old Testament that we don't pronounce?
There's no name, it's the Word.
They referred to him as the Word. Why?
Because
What? They could not. They were afraid to say the name Jehovah. They spoke the name Jehovah before, but when Moses gave the law to Israel, what was one of the most prohibiting things in the law, the prohibition? You shall not use the Lord thy God's name in vain. So they were afraid to ever speak it. So they referred to Jehovah, or however you say it. We say Jehovah. We can say that real easy, but you cannot say the name Jehovah. It's impossible. Okay? I'll write it up here. Some of you, this is old hat to you. Jehovah. Can you say that? All right. Now, all right, you take out the vowels, which in the original language there aren't any. Now can you say that name? It's impossible to say it. It's impossible to pronounce it. All right? After they quit saying the name, they didn't know how to pronounce it. Still don't know how to pronounce that name. So they were referred to it long ago as the name or the word, or sometimes when they would write it, and even the Jews today, if they're writing it in English, they'll say this. They'll say G-N-D. They won't write out the name God. They're afraid to say the name God. That goes back to their idea of God. Okay? In beginning kept on being the Word. Who is this? Jehovah. That's Jehovah. That's what it's talking about. All right?
Is Jehovah Greek or
Jehovah's Hebrew.
Okay.
The name of God is Hebrew. All right? And it's Jehovah. We don't know how to say that name. That's what King James, that's how they wrote it. Okay? It's wrong. Okay? My Hebrew teacher, I had Hebrew for 6 years. And I asked him one time, Brother Hubbard, I said, how would you say the name Jehovah? And he'd say, he said, we don't know how to say the name. The Jews never used the name. They would take, when they were writing Old Testament scriptures, they could make a mistake on any word in the Old Testament, and they would just erase it and rewrite it. Okay? But if they made a mistake writing the name Jehovah, the manuscript had to be buried and discarded. They could not do that. And they wrote the name of God with a special pen and ink. It was special, consecrated, and they did not speak it. Okay? So in beginning kept on being the Jehovah. That's what it means. All right? And then it says, Kai. Can you say Kai? Can you read this and say Kai even in English? Look this up. Look at this. That's pretty easy, isn't it? Just like Greek. Greek is a whole lot like English. That's and here in this case. That's a conjunction. If you want to look it up on page 208 in Donovan's Analytical Lexicon, you can look it up. Okay? It's a conjunction. It's a cumulative particle. It is a conjunction like because. Causative conjunction. It is a particle of affirmation, which means yes or absolutely, whatever. Anyway, that's and. And the word hologos, all right, the Jehovah, and third person singular and perfect indicative active, again. And the word, or the Jehovah, kept on being. And it says, pros, tone, theon. All right. Toward the God. That is, and everything, here we have a preposition. And it means toward, face to face. Part of. Just like this, juxtaposition. Forever. Toward the God. Accusative, singular, masculine. Definite article, the. Accusative, singular, masculine. All right? There we are. The article, the, agrees the number, gender, and case with the noun that it's describing. All right. Now let's translate this.
Excuse me a second. We're in Hebrew what now?
We're in Hebrews 7, verse 2. But we're going to be talking about Jehovah in here. We're going to talk about the eternal God in this chapter. But this here is John 1:1. Okay? And the Jehovah kept on being proton theon. The idea is that an inseparable part of the Godhead. On what time did Jesus ever cease being God when he was on this earth? Never. That second sentence. You've got three sentences in John 1:1, actually. All right? The second sentence is, it says, in beginning, kept on being, always existed Jehovah. All right? And he kept on being an inseparable part of the Godhead. He never ceased being God. And then we have the word Kai here, but it does not mean and. Here it means because. You can look that one up on page 208 in that analytical lexicon. Because you can go either way with this. It doesn't make any difference. Syntax doesn't matter. You can say ho, logos, aim, theos, or you can say ho, theos, aim, logos. Or you can put a definite article on both sides because it doesn't make any difference. This is what you call a what? What kind of a figure is this in speech? This is a predicate nominative.
Can you go Kai, Theos, King, Hologos?
Yes, it don't matter. Now look at the end. Look at here. Here we have a definite article. It's nominative, singular, masculine, isn't it? Then we have a definite, or we have an article here, a noun that's nominative, singular, masculine. Over here now, omicron sigma on the end, or the OS on the end of it. What do you have? That's nominative, singular, masculine, isn't it? Mathematically, what does this mean?
Kim?
Huh?
Kim? All right.
Because the Jehovah kept on being God. Now the Jehovah Witnesses in their little translation will say the Word kept on being a God. There is no A's in Greek and no ands in Greek. There is no indefinite articles in Greek. There aren't any. Okay? But if you're grammatically correct, you'd say ho logos, ho theos. The Word kept on being the God. Not a God. It has to be the God. We know that 1 equals 1, don't we? And a linking verb is an equal sign. Who created eternity? God did. All right, let's look at it. In eternity, kept on being the Word. Or in eternity, the Word created eternity. All right? Simple as that. Over here now, the Jehovah kept on being the God, or the Jehovah is equal to the God of creation. Because it's talking about the God of creation, Genesis 1 and 1. This is older than Genesis 1 and 1. Okay?
What does the O mean, though?
What?
Okay.
The whole is the. That's a definite article. Nominative singular masculine definite article.
In eternity and then ND, or what does ND mean?
This is ain. Ain, that's third person singular and perfect indicative action. He kept on being.
Like aim, like AM?
He kept on being. B-E-I-N-G.
Okay.
Jared. Okay? It's a state of being that continued to be. It's not was. King James translates it was. The other one translates it was. Was, but not it. It's not was. It's kept on being. He continued to be. All right? You ready for me to erase this one? You got it? You got it? All right. And then we're going to jump over here in Hebrews, and we'll understand that better. Because the writer of Hebrews is trying to tell the Hebrew Christians about their God. All right, John 1:14 now. 1:14. How does that start out? Who knows? What?
Kai.
Kai.
O.
O.
Logos. Sars. Eugenics.
We're not going to write all the verse out here. The Jehovah means what?
King.
Huh?
And he became.
He who shall become. The becoming one. The first time the root of the name Jehovah is used in the Bible is in Genesis 1 and 2. How about Genesis 1 and 2? How does it start? Well, no, Genesis 1 or 2 in Hebrew.
Barshi.
No, that's Genesis 1 and 1. Barashith. Genesis 1 and 1. Barashith, Bara, Elohim, Et HaShemayim, Et Haaretz. And then it says, we, Haaretz, Tahya, Tohu, Vabuhu. All right? And the earth. And the earth. We is and. Ha is the. Aretz, earth. She became. That's the root of the name Jehovah. Earth, she became formless and void. That's literally what it says. Now, King James says was. Some of the others say was. But it is not. It is something that became. It was not that way. It became that way. All right? It became. That is the root of the name Jehovah. Okay? The root of the name Jehovah. There it is. Became. The one who shall become. And then we have here, and the Jehovah. See, we have established that the logos is Jehovah. All right? And the Jehovah Sars. What is the word for flesh in Spanish? Carne. 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 All right, carne. Carne is meat, flesh, isn't it?
Carne asada?
All right. Flesh. Flesh. That's it. Flesh. Sars. Flesh. Carne. The Jehovah flesh. Third person singular. Aris. Indicative. Capital voice. All right. Let's look at this. And the Jehovah flesh he became. That's a fulfillment of the Jehovah title, isn't it? So now we have God in flesh. Okay? God in flesh, God's salvation plan dictated that God would become flesh. Had to. So he could redeem his creation. John 3:16. What does it say? All right, John 3:16. All right. For God so loved what? The cosmos. For God so loved the cosmos. All right, cosmos. What's cosmos? The world order. All right. So God so loved the world order, the cosmos, the material creation. I wrote a sermon one time. Matter does matter to God. Matter does matter to God. Matter. John 1:14, and the Jehovah flesh, he became the fulfillment of the title, so he could redeem his creation back to himself. All right? Even the animal kingdom suffers because of man's sin. What is the result of man's sin? Final result is death of all of the creation, living creation, all animals. What did every animal sacrifice in the Old Testament stand for? The person of God becoming flesh and one day redeeming us at the cross of Calvary. Right there. All right. And the Word, the Jehovah flesh, he became. All right. And he dwelt among us. He pitched his tent. The tabernacle over there, it's on the board over there. Why did God want that tabernacle built? He said, I want to dwell with my people. In the Old Testament, in the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Old Testament, it is the word skene, the same word. I want to dwell with my people. And the Logos, Sark, flesh, he became, and he dwelt among his people. God did it. In finality, in the end result, Jesus walked this earth. He never ceased being God. Not once. Never. Because John 1:1 said he would. John 1:14. Now let's look and see John 1:18. Who's got John 1:18? Let's look at John 1:18. Have you got it there, Brother Dave?
No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten God, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has explained him.
All right. Let's start off with that. It says, no one has seen God at any time. You know what it said? But the only begotten God, that's what it literally says, the only begotten God. What would God beget if he begat? He would beget God. We're going to talk about that in Hebrew. Begetting. Okay? God begets God. The only begotten God, and it says un there in Greek, the one being constantly in inseparable bosom of the Father. It says that one has explained himself. Literally what it says is he has led himself out. The econago comes at that, like exit up there in Ago. He led himself out. Where did he lead himself out of? He led himself out of eternity into space and time in the person of Jehovah in the flesh. Jehovah means what? He who shall become. Simple as that. Now, have you got any questions on this? Hebrews 7:2. Hebrews 7:2. I said all that to get to here. All right. Put this off here. The Bible is beautiful in the original languages. You can't beat it. We can explain it, we can translate it in English, but it's like looking at a black and white picture instead of full color with all dimensions read.
Hey, sometimes in the past you talked about how the real language they spoke in the Lord's day was Greek, but they said they were speaking Aramaic.
The Jews spoke Aramaic some among themselves. But the common language, Koine Greek means a common universal language. Every bit of commerce and everything was all spoken in Koine Greek. When Pilate spoke, he spoke in Koine Greek. The Roman coins were printed in Koine Greek. All right.
So how did Jehovah get stuck?
Well, they never spoke the name after that. When God gave us the law, they never used the name Jehovah again. Forget it. After that, it didn't happen. Okay? They didn't use the name. They referred to him as the Word, or the name, or Adonai. Adonai means what? King of Kings and Lord of Lords. All right. Now let's go to Hebrews 7:2. Now, I know that I don't put all of you have left out the first part of 7 and 2, but some of them did. All right, it's Ho, Kai, Dekatane, Apho, Ponton, Emeristain, Abraham, Proton, Man, Hermenu Omenos, Basilius, Dekaiosunes, Epeta, and then where you have in yours, it's Day, Kai, Basilius, Salim, Ho, Estens, Basilius, Arenes. Okay, now let's go back to translate this. I'm sorry that they left out part of it. Did you? Is that all left out of all yours? This first part of it is left out in all of it? Just some of the top. Okay. Ho is a relative pronoun, dative singular, masculine. By the way, relative pronoun. That's to whom?
Write it down again.
What?
You write it in the book?
Yeah. It's in there. To whom also, or indeed, this word kai here now, kai in this instance means indeed, or yes, or also. Okay? It's not and. All right? To whom indeed, and then we have the word tenth there, dekate. Deka is 10. Decalogue means what? Decalogue. It's beautiful. What do the Hebrews call the law? They call it the 10 words. Decalogue. The 10 words. Logos means word. Deca means 10. 10 words, the Decalogue. We talk about the Decalogue, which is the 10 words, the 10 commandments. They didn't refer to it as the 10 commandments, but the 10 words. This is beautiful also. When we talk about the commandments of God. When Moses went up on Mount Sinai the first time, what did he get? What did he bring down off of that mountain? Huh? He brought the 10 words, the Decalogue. Who prepared the stones that time? God did. Who wrote the words? God did. All right. Now, while they were up on the mountain, what did Israel do down below? They partied. They were partying. And by the way, when Moses went up on the mountain, Moses looked to Aaron and he said, Aaron, you're the boss. You take care of these people down there where I'm going. If they have any problems, they come to you. Okay, you take care of it. When they got up on the mountain, and he was receiving, he was up there for 40 days, they started hollering and screaming, where in the world? Moses is gone. We want a God. We want a God we can see. Who is this invisible God? Well, how do we know he's here? How do we know that some blind didn't eat old Moses up there or whatever? So, what did Aaron do? What was his occupation, by the way? What was Aaron's occupation? He was a ghost in a silver. All right? From the language of the Hebrew language, we find out that he took a form, he carved out a calf out of wood. And then he took golden plates and beat it around there, and he said, this is Jehovah, the one that led you out of Egypt. This is Jehovah. It's bad enough that He made a calf like one of the gods of Egypt, but he said, this is Jehovah, the one that led you out of Egypt. Well, while he was up there, God says, Moses, you better get down off the mountain. I'm going to kill every one of them rats. I'm going to kill them all. And I'm going to make you a mighty nation. And then Moses did what? He said, no, don't do that, Lord, because all the rest of the world will know that you took all these millions of people out of Egypt just to destroy them. You said to Jacob and to Abraham that you'd make them a mighty nation, and that's the people. I know I'm one of them, but they will say God doesn't love these people. His promises are no good. So he says, I'll go down there. So he went down there, and then he said, go out and kill all those in resistance. And he went out and killed 3,000 of them. When he came down off the mountain, the plate, literally, the plate that God had given him, the plate that was written on the front and the back, that God had carved out of stone, the material was from God and the words were from God. He threw them down and broke them. Why did Moses throw them down and break them?
They were worshiping idols.
Yeah, they broke the covenant.
Israel had broken the covenant. It was broken. He showed them, this is what you did, and threw it down. They broke the law. They did. Moses didn't get mad and throw it down. He physically showed them what they had done. Now, he was the intercessor. He was a mediator. He was a type of Christ. The mediator, Jehovah. Right? Jehovah, we have one man between God and man. What's that? The man Christ Jesus. We have one advocate with the Father, don't we? All right. Now, when Moses went back up on the mountain, what did God tell him to do? You go out and you carve out me 2 plates and bring them up on the mountain, and I'll write on them. All right? So Moses did. He provided the material because he was the intercessor. Jesus, when he spoke to the rabbis and the Pharisees, he would say, it says in my what? In my word. My word. He said he was the originator of the Word of God. He spoke the Word of God. Now let's go back and look at this Decalogue. We got the word Deca. To whom indeed the 10th. Decate. That means the 10th of everything they got. There's some beautiful stuff in here. From apo, that is in the oblative case. In Greek there are 8 cases. Nominative, genitive, optative, locative, instrumental, dative, accusative, and vocative. Every noun is in one of those cases. Nominative, genitive, oblative, locative, instrumental, dative, accusative, and vocative. Okay? Nominative, genitive, optative, locative, instrumental, dative, accusative, and vocative. Let's look at this for just a minute. I know this is overwhelming. I just throw this at you a little bit. Nominative case is subject. Logos is nominative, singular, masculine. It's a nominative case. Genitive means the origin of something. Genitive, the genesis. All right. By the word Genesis in the Old Testament, the word Genesis, the first book in the Bible, where does that word come from? From the Greek Septuagint. It's not from the Hebrew. The Hebrew is Barashit. Genesis is from Greek. Genitive. And then oblative. The whence case is what they call it. Where did it come from? Oblative. And then locative. In the house. That's locative. In the house. In this classroom. In is prepositional phrase. In the classroom. All right? That's locative. Instrumental. With or by the means of. Dative case 2 or 4. Accusative is the direct object. In Hebrew, there is a sign of the direct object. It is that sign right there. A. That's the first and the last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. In Greek, there's a preposition that points out the direct object. That's it right there. And you can look at it and read it right from English. What does it say? Ace. Ace. All right. Ace. When you see ace, we have a direct object behind it. All right? The accusative, and then the last one is the vocative, which is a case of address. I say, Bill. Billy. In Greek, you would have the end of your name would tell you, it would have this word on it right here. That's in the vocative. All right? In Spanish, when you address somebody, it does have a different ending. That's what you call an inflection. What are the girls and the boys? Mija, mijo. All right? That's a girl and boy. Little girl, little boy. Beloved girl, beloved boy. All right?
Sharon, the B and the A? I didn't get that.
The what? D is dative. Dative, like you date something, dative. And then accusative. Accusative. You're accusing somebody. That's a direct object. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay,
All
what
right.
was the instrumental again?
Instrumental, with or by the means of. All right? Dative is 2 or 4. All right? Giving you a little bit of grammar and a lot of Greek here. All right? And indeed, the tense from ablative case. Ablative. All right, page 40 if you want to write that down. Of all. That is of all, that's an ablative plural. Ponton. Even back to pontoon boat, you know, it's almost like that in ponton. Of all, he divided. Abraham. Our word idea of meridian, is right out of this Greek word. Emeriste. All right, emeriste. Third person singular, first aorist indicative active, comes from merizo. And then Abram. Abram is the same name as Abraham. All right, Abram. What does Abraham mean, by the way? Abram means what?
Father of many or multitude?
Okay, well, no, let's get back here. Abba. Abba in Hebrew is what?
Father.
Father. Abba. All right? Abram. Abram means what?
Father of multitudes. Father of many.
No. Not yet. Abram. It means exalted father. Abram, his name meant exalted father. Abraham. Abraham. Exalted father of a multitude. All right, Abraham. All right, God
I
named
remember reading
his name.
You talked
And he
about
added the
remember
5th letter of the Hebrew alphabet to his name and to Sarah's name also. Abraham first. All right. Of all he divided, Abraham first. Proton. Man, indeed. All right. Article of affirmation, page 263, if you want to write that one down. In the book, you can go read it. And then it says, being translated, hermein hu o menos. We got a word hermeneutics from this. Hermeneutics. The name in English, Herman. Herman. Herman comes from hermeneutics. What is the word Herman in Spanish? What's the name, Herman? Come on, there's a name for it. No. Oh, there's a name. I can't even think of it right now. There's a name in Spanish comes right out of this. Comes right out of it.
Hermanos?
No, hermano, that means brother, doesn't it? Or,
Yeah, hermano.
Hermoso?
Okay. No, what's the name for Herman?
Herman?
Nobody
Sorry.
knows? My mother was here. She could do it. By the way, remember her, Joel has a staph infection, and he's very sick. I don't know if he's going to make it or not. Just remember Joel in your prayers. All right? Being translated. Nominative singular masculine, present participle passive. All right? Being translated. It means, the word hermeneutics is decipher. Can't think of that Spanish name that's driving me nuts. There's a Spanish name for this. Right on it. Hermeneuo is what it is. Hermeneutics, it means to interpret, to translate. Okay? Basileus. All right? Basilica. The English word basilica means the king, the palace. Okay? The place of the king. Basileus. Dikaiosunes. The king of righteousness. What is interpreted king of righteousness? Who did Abraham give tithes to? Melchizedek. Melchizedek in Hebrew means in Greek the king of righteousness. All right? Of righteousness. And then it was epeka, then Moreover, we converse the conjunction, page 85, if you want to write that one down. Also, cumulative particle. Or indeed, or also, king of Salem. He was also the king of Salem. He was a prophet, the priest, and the king, wasn't he? Melchizedek was. The king of Salem, which he is king, or it means also he is king of peace. What's the word for peace in Hebrew? What's the word for peace?
Shalom.
What? Shalom. What does shalom mean now?
Agreement of peace.
Aha! You've been listening, brother. There is no peace unless there's agreement.
Your teacher's better.
Shalom means peace, but it means it's an agreement. Because of an agreement, there is peace. If we ever get peace in the Middle East, it's because they have agreed for once and for all. And I'll tell you when it's going to come, right over there. When the Lord straightens it all out. All right, we may get a temporary peace over there, but we're not going to get the real deal until Jehovah comes down to earth to claim it. All right, 7-3. 7-3. Are you learning something tonight? I don't mean to
You know,
immerse you in all this stuff
I'm
terribly and scramble your brains. Yes, Brother Bill.
I'm looking at this verse too, and I haven't met a woman that believes in that yet, because they usually want 90 and you keep 10. They don't believe in keep. At least mine don't.
Totally wants to die tonight, doesn't he?
His wife isn't here. He's saved. Well, Bill, look around and see how many women there are in the room. You're not saved. You're still not saved. Joanne's not here, but you're not saved, brother.
They're on the way out. There's no agreement of peace here. There's no agreement.
No agreement, no peace. All right. Pator. All right. Mator. Ganiologatos. All right. Mete. Arcane. Hemeron. Mete. Zoes. Telos. Ekon. Aphomoimenos. De. To. Huion. Look at that huion for just a minute. That looks like a U, I, and then an omega at the end of it. Huion. Right above that is a little quickly mark like this. Okay? Like this. That's a rough prefix. That turns it into an H. Or a Huion. All right? And then to Thiu. Mene. Hererus. Hold on, this machine is talking to me. Hey. All right, to Thiu. Mene. Hererus. All right. Now let's look at this. Pater. What's the word for father in Spanish? Padre. All right. Padre.
So we knew that one.
Uh-huh. See, there it is. What is it in Latin? What's father in Latin? Pater. 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 We're going to get into that. What's that say? Huh? Pater familia. What's the word for family in Spanish? Familia. Right out of Latin, isn't it? Okay? So we're going to see that in these verses. Okay? Unfathered. Melchizedek was unfathered. Actually, what it says about Melchizedek is that there is no recorded father of Melchizedek. I'm sure he had a father, but no recording of it. All right? It's left blank. Okay? And then Amator. Amator. What does that mean? Unmothered. He has no mother. He has no father. And then we have the writer of the book of Hebrews has invented a word. This word's not found anyplace else in Greek literature or anything, not profane or ecclesiastical. Period. Here it is, only right here. Because the writer of the book of Hebrews invented it. All right? And it is genealogetos. We got a word Genesis from this. We get a word genealogy from this. Look at that word, genealogetos. Genealogetos. All right? No genealogy. He doesn't have a genealogy. Did Jesus have a genealogy? Oh, did he? Where is it found in the Bible? Matthew 1, 1 through 16 tells you Joseph's genealogy. Why did Jesus have a genealogy?
So you can trace his bloodline.
So he could trace his bloodline, so he could be the Redeemer. The Redeemer. Matthew 1 through 16 tells you Joseph's bloodline. Okay, Joseph's bloodline. Luke 3:23 through 38. Someone go to Luke 3:23 in New American Standard or Amplified Bible, please.
What was it again?
Matthew 3:23. Not Matthew. Luke 3:23. I'm sorry. I can. That's easy for me to do it for. You know what? I make more mistakes than I do corrections. Matthew 3 or Luke 3:23. Luke 3:23.
You wanted the New American?
Yeah, that's good.
I got that.
Uh-huh.
And when he began his ministry, Jesus himself was about 30 years of age, being supposedly the son of Joseph, the son of Eli.
All right. Being supposedly. In other words, that means he wasn't. He wasn't. Being supposedly. So he wasn't. Now, whose lineage do we have here? It's a different lineage than the other lineage. Whose lineage is this? In Luke, this is Mary's lineage. All right? In Luke, we have Mary's lineage. And in Genesis now, 3 and 15, it says, in that, we have Jehovah talking to the Nahash. All right? Nahash. What's Nahash?
Snake.
The snake. He's talking to the serpent. Nahash means the deceiving serpent, by the way. Nahash. Jehovah talks to the deceiving serpent, and he said to him what? 3:15. What's it say there, Brother Randall?
Genesis 3:15?
Yeah, Genesis 3:15. Yeah. Got it?
And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed.
All right. Now, this is the first promise of the Messiah, or the Messianic, that's the first Messianic promise in the Bible. Okay, this is it. I'm going to put active hatred between your seed, the devil, the Antichrist, and her seed, the seed of the woman. Now, how many of you have read a little bit in the book of Enoch? If you go to my website on the front page of discoverword.com, over to the right side, you can download the whole book of Enoch and read about it. And what does Enoch call the Messiah? What does Enoch call the Messiah?
Son of woman?
The son of woman. Not the son of man. All right? He wasn't the son of any man. He's only the son of man because he looks like a man. God. He's not the son of man. He's the son of woman. All right? The woman does not pass on to girls. This is good. Bill, this is not good for men. The masculine gender of mankind always gives the sin nature to the child, not the woman.
Because women don't
Oh,
have seed.
what?
Women do not carry seed.
The woman does not carry the sin nature in her. That's why Mary could have Jesus, and that child would be without sin, because he did not have an earthly father. The death in the human race is passed on by the father. As in Adam, all what? All die. Not as in woman, all die. It's as in Adam, all die. And then, a beautiful part of here, go back to the book of Genesis again. I'm going to just paraphrase this. Okay? And Eve got pregnant. And she brought forth a child. And she called his name what? Called his name what? Cain. Cain means what?
Like the Messiah, she got the Savior.
Gotten.
Got it.
Look, she said, I have gotten the man, even the Lord, the Messiah. She thought the Messiah was born.
And she knew about him then.
Yes,
And there was
because
no one
God had already
but
made
she
the
knew there
promise.
was a
They knew
Messiah
what the promise was. And they thought that the Messiah was their son.
And they
It
already...
took thousands of years for the Messiah to come. Thousands of years. The promise was still there.
I wonder how she knew, Jim, that there was a Messiah coming.
Okay, but now, in the one that they thought was the Messiah, Cain, what did Cain do?
Cain killed Abel.
Cain killed Abel. So instead of a Messiah, they had a murderer, which was the end result of their sin and rebellion to God. Okay? The child that they thought was a Messiah became a murderer.
Does Cain's people live in the wilderness to this day?
What?
The Cain's people...
The Cain's people are all gone,
He
brother.
lives in the wilderness.
They're all gone. Cain, it says, went in the land of Nod, and Nod means wandering. He was nomadic. Okay? All right. Let's go on now with this here. We got a little bit of the Old Testament. We had to do the things we did today to understand these verses. You understand that? Okay? It says, neither unfathered, unmothered, now this is talking about Melchizedek, without genealogy, devoid of genealogy, and that writer invented this word. Neither, that's what we call a correlative, page 269 if you want to write that down. May take. It comes from may and t, all right? And then definite pronominal adjective, and may is a particle of affirmation. That one's on page 268, may is. And then arcane, we saw that in the very first verse up there, in arcane. Without beginning. Beginning. All right? Beginning of days. It didn't tell when he was born. It just talks about him in the Old Testament, and it leaves it totally blank for a reason, because he was a type of Jesus, our high priest. And then of days, and then neither, mete again, of life, end, having. He's no end of life. He's eternally living. We don't know if Melchizedek died or anything. It doesn't say anything about him. Nor end of days having. Echo there. Nominee, singular, masculine, present participle active. That comes from echo. And then we have another beautiful word. Aphomoios. This is used one time in the New Testament, this word is. Right here. This is it. The writer of Hebrews. It's right here. It's in your text.
Mine says missing. So.
Yours is missing 7-3?
Yeah, 4 or 5 pages.
Okay. Anyway, it's alpha, omega, mu, omicron, iota, omega, mu, epsilon, nu, omicron, sigma. Aphomoios. It means being made in facsimile, nominally, singular, masculine, present participle, passive. It comes from, we got a word, moio, all right? Aphomoio. It means to resemble, to cause the form to be the same. The form the same, all right? It means a copy. We have the word facsimile today. We have fax machines, you know. You put a paper in there, and it sends a fax, and you have the same words exactly, the same pictures or whatever, right on it. That's what we call a facsimile. That's what it means here. Being made a facsimile, or a copy, moreover, to the Son. Melchizedek was like a type or a fax of the Son of God in that he didn't have any beginning, no ending. How old is Jesus? How old is Jehovah? He's older than anything.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what he's talking about. That's what we talked about in John 1:1. He's before everything. Well, he's way before all of this. Before spirits, angels, before the creation itself. Before the vacant universe, the space, put all of it in. Because he created all of it. The sun, to you, the air. This is the air. This is the first one. Okay? You. To you. Oblative singular masculine. Oblative singular masculine. The case of origin. Oblative. Where did he come from? Out of God. How did, in John 1:14 it says what? And the Word, the Jehovah fleshy became, and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory. John 1:18 says, the only begotten God, the one being in the bosom of the Father, always. Inseparable. John 1:1, in the beginning kept on being the Word, the Jehovah, and the Word kept on being an inseparable part of the God. Inseparable. He was always God. Okay? He said he was generated from God, and then it says he remains. Mene. Third person singular, present, indicative, active. He remains a priest. Ace to dianekes. Unto the, that word dianekes, that's used 4 times in the New Testament, by the way. 4 times in the New Testament, and it's only used in the book of Hebrews. That's all. It's not used outside of the New Testament, any other book of Hebrews. Unto the perpetuity. All right? The perpetuity. It means, it comes from dia and anekes, dia and anekes. If you, anekes means bearing onward, for stretching, far stretching, continuous, without any break at all. And dia means through that. Throughout, without a break, without a continuous existence from now on. And remember, this word is only used 4 times in the book of Hebrews and no place else. He wanted to describe this. All right. Without successor. All right? Without successor. Melchizedek stands alone in history. Jesus stands alone in history because there is no other one like him. Uninterrupted. No one like Melchizedek, no one like Jesus. Now, Melchizedek was probably not Jesus. A lot of people say, A.T. Roberts said Melchizedek has been made more mysterious than he is by reading into this interpretation what is not there. All right. Do you have any questions about this? We're going to start with 7 and 4 next week.
You know, Jim, I do. I know that if we're talking genealogy here and paying tithes and that stuff, and now the Jews don't follow lineage through the man, but through the woman.
Yes.
And
does that tell you something?
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
the Messiah is very important.
Yeah.
They're still looking for him.
Yeah, because they're following through the woman's lineage
That's
instead of the man.
It don't matter whether you're a Jewish man, if the woman is the one that counts.
Yeah, if a woman marries a Gentile and they have a child, he's considered a Jew, full-blood Jew. If a man marries a Gentile as a child, he's not Jewish.
That's because the lineage is through the woman, locked hair.
And so they couldn't, yeah. And the blood of Christ goes through man,
Yeah. Well, anyway, do you have any questions?
No. Good
Did you
enough.
learn something tonight? I hope I didn't flabbergast you.
A couple hundred questions, Jim. I saw you.
200 questions?
You have an email.
Well, 200 more for you next question.
Well, I tell you what, I get a lot of emails from all over, and they're still talking about you, Bill. They talk about him all the time. One guy in John, what's his name? John something in Australia. We have a study group in Australia and one in Japan and North and South Carolina, all over the place. They study our classes. But John Capel wrote, and he says, I really get a kick out of Bill. He's really funny. He must love his ex-wife a lot.
You know what, man?
Surely he isn't still married to that poor woman.
Wayne loves me coming on Wednesday night because, you know, when Jim gets done, it takes me about 2-3 hours to process it, so I go home and I'm not coughing. You know, and I get in bed and I'm laying back there, you know, and I'm going over what Jim was teaching me, you know, because to process it, you know, it takes a while to kind of. So she usually likes Wednesday night. She says, I know every Wednesday night you come home, you do very damn soft. And it's like your mind's going. I said, you know what, it just takes me a while to process all of that, you know, to get it down. And then half the time I forget it anyway, you know.
Bill was more famous than I am. They listened to Bill.
Yeah, right.
What's he going to say? What's he going to do this time? What's he going to do this time?
They say you have about 2 hours.
He came in here the other day and was talking about wife swapping. He wanted the wife to swap
You know, I seen that deal on television. You know,
on the radio. I mean, on the
most of what I got, you know, on television, you know, when I was watching it one day and I thought,
You should do that, Dad.
you know, maybe I ought to see if we got a good deal or not. You know? But then again, you know, my sister and my sister-in-law.
We better turn you loose on the world. I want you to go out and do something eternal now.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
We just shut you down for just a minute. You can keep on going in a minute, Brookville. But we got to dismiss.
I'm ready.
Turn you loose on the world out there. We got Noah over there learning Greek before he learns English.
That's how you do it, man.
And Brett trying to learn English.
I'm trying to learn English. I'm trying to learn all languages, man.
All right. Well, let's be dismissed. Brother Bill, I'm going to let you say the last word.
Thank you, Jim. Lord, we just ask you to bless us today and help us to be able to take the word that we're learning, God, that we might be able to spread it to other people and let them know that what the love and the forgiveness that you have, Lord, and that you're the way and the only way. And thank Jim for the knowledge that we gained this week, that we'll be able to just share it, Lord. And just thank you for this day and all the blessings you've given us. We ask these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.